Hello, and welcome to the Finjan Show. I'm your host, Faris Alami. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you, of course, for all of our sponsors. In today's show, one of the things I got some questions on based on the last few episodes is, Faris, you've talked about the 777 marketing. What is that? And although in the past I've blogged many times about it, so if you actually Google the term, the power of 777 marketing and my name, you should be able to get some of the things on the Medium that I've published specifically step-by-step of how to do it. And yes, of course, through the work of my work with international strategic management, there is a program that we could plug you in to have you do the 777 marketing. But I'm going to go and walk you through today the steps that you could do to make that happen for your own business. And with today's digital world, you could actually automate some of these steps that I'm going to discuss with you today in a very simple way. So let's start. What is 777 marketing? Well, one of the things I learned when I was earlier in my career is that most of the time people buy because of the different touches that they might have with you. And what I mean by that is most likely they don't buy from the first time they hear something. Most likely they buy because they've heard it second, third, sometimes fourth or fifth or sixth time before they even buy it. And in many studies, it's shown and proven that sometimes people, every 10 times they're touched, they might buy once from the same product. Now, I don't want you to think of touching as a physical touch. I'm talking about just a touch as far as mental touch, physical touch, a reference point, any of those things. So let's go and be a specific example. Let's just say today you went and you heard about a new item, a bag, a car, a mic, whatever that is, a service, a cleaning service. You might not go and buy with it today. You might not buy it today, but you might hear from a friend about it 2 days later. You might hear someone talking about it on the radio or on TV. You might be in a meeting and someone referenced it. You might be in a different conference show and there might be a flyer for them. And that's what I mean by like 7 touches. So not necessarily once, but it's just different ways. And one of the things I learned is that you could actually create your own campaign, understanding who your customers are and what they want or what they like to hear or see from you. So let's break that up. So what is 777 and how does it work? Well, what I would encourage you to do, of course, besides finding the blog and following those steps, is to create what I'm going to call 7 potential customers or 7 customers that you would like to do business with. Now, you can make this 3 times or you can make this once. And then think about the 7 ways that you could touch them over a period of 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months. It could be, whatever way you want, 7 years. But you also have to be careful. You don't want to be too aggressive going after a customer that if you already know that your sales cycle is 3 months to 6 months, don't try to make it in a week, right? Because then you might be just maybe coming across as pushy or salesy, and you want to make sure that you're selling strategically, not just selling for the sake of selling. Not anything wrong with it. It's just that's not what I like to promote. So with that being said, you want to think about the 7 customers or potential customers, the 7 ways you're going to touch them, and the 7 periods of time that you're going to go after and have those touches. Let's go ahead and take a specific example. So let's just say you are in the staffing industry and you would like to get a new client or a new customer. And let's just say that you have a ABC company that you think is ideal for you. What you want to do is think about what would be 7 ways for you to be in touch with them over the period, obviously in the staffing, maybe 7 weeks or 7 months. So that means once a week, I'm going to find a way to touch the person, right? Or maybe seven months. Once a month, I'm going to have a way to be in touch with them. So first touch, I'm probably going to maybe call them and just introduce myself or try to learn about them. That's the first touch. The second month, I might say, you know what, now I'm going to go ahead and, drop off a Kit Kat bar for them and have a little, maybe a funny statement on it. third month, maybe I find an article that they're talking about them or about their growth, about their business. I'm going to attach that and say, congratulations, or something like that, right? The fourth way, and maybe I could say, I just released a new blog. Love for you to get your thoughts on it, specifically about talent, right? Because I'm speaking to something that they care about. The fifth one, maybe I saw a conference that they might be interested in, or they might, want to participate in. I refer that to them, right? Sixth one, I might say, I'm going to stop by to see, when we're going to be able to talk and do some business. And the seventh one, and so on and so forth, right? So now you just came up with 7 ways to touch them over a period of 7 months or 7 weeks for one client. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll elaborate a little bit more about the rest of the 777 marketing. Thanks for joining. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and thank you again for tuning in. So we just use an example of one of the 7 customers that you might have and the 7 ways that you could touch them over the period of 7 months or 7 weeks or 7 days. And by the way, this could be for a product, this could be for a service, this could be for anything you could imagine. So now that you came up with 1 customer, you could come up with 7 potential customers. But I'm going to encourage you to do this in 3 ways, right? So I'm going to call 7 names of customers or potential customers that you would like to have. These are customers that you probably should have had because they already have done business with you in the past, or maybe they are similar to some of the business that you have today. So let's say you service dental offices or doctors. Well, now you could say, I could service another doctor. They have 1 location. It's similar to what I'm already doing with this other doctor. I'd like to offer it to them as well. So you kind of like know that they should probably be doing business with you, or they might have done business with you once before. So that's what I say you should have had. And you could create 7 of them. Then you can create the next 7. And now you can say, who I would like to have. Maybe I'm servicing 1 doctor office, but maybe I'd like to have doctor offices that have minimum 2 locations. Maybe 5 locations is ideal. That's what you would like to have. And maybe you could come up with 7 of them. Then you want to think about 7, and I'm going to call them, this is your wish list. If you had all the money in the world and you had all the resources in the world to get these customers, you would go after them and you would make sure that they are your customers. Who would that be? Excuse me. So now you came up with 21 names that you could come up with 7 ways to touch them over the period of 7 weeks or 7 months or 7 days or whatever period, or 7 every other week, whatever period you come up with, right? I don't want to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you the framework for it. And now you could go ahead and plug those in. And once you get to the decision maker and you learn that they don't want to do business with you, you obviously don't want to continue touching them in that same campaign. You move them now to a different campaign, or you move them off your list, right? To say, okay, maybe once a year I'll send them a Happy New Year card, or once a year I'll swing by and see if anything changed. But now I'm going to move them out of the 7 list, and now I'm going to come up with some other name that's new. And when you think about it in this way, you have now 21 customers or potential customers that you could make calls on. And that's really, if you divide that by 5 days a week, or 10 days a week, or I'm sorry, or 7 days a week, or 4 days a week, whatever number of days you want, you're looking at a couple of calls a day for you to do that. Now, ideally, it'll be awesome if you could automate some of it, and some of it maybe you can't automate, but that's one way to do the power of 777 marketing. I hope that these insights allow you to find ways to engage new customers and new clients in a meaningful way, and you both prosper. Thanks for joining. Until the next show, have a great day. Thanks for joining the Finjan Show today.